Well, hello and welcome back to Box Office Chat, where we break down and discuss the top 10 best performing films within the United Kingdom's box office. Stephen, this is for the weekend of February 8th to 10th, 2019. As you can see, Stephen, I have fractured my hand, so this is going to be very intriguing. If we were watching the Partridge episode where he got his foot stuck in spike, this may be what I'm like in 10 minutes time, Stephen.
Not getting any glitter on display, so...
No glitter, sadly no. But
just have to put it on the pen,
yeah.
Coming in at number 1, John, is Lego Movie 2, the second part. It's grossed 4 million over the weekend. This is a film I want to see. I very much enjoyed the first one, like the Batman one as well. I think maybe a couple of weeks ago as well, I did mention I do like those little sort of Star Wars shots as well, the Padman Menace, etc. I love the humour in Lego, like the games as well, as we talked about a few weeks ago as well. And it's grossed 4 million in its first week, which is very impressive.
It's very impressive, Stephen. It's also grossed $97.3 million worldwide, so that is a very strong start for this film, as you did say, Stephen. Very reminiscent of many of the Star Wars little skits that have been floating around over the last few years in terms of Star Wars Lego Ninjago. Also the original Lego movie, which was a fantastic film, very, very funny. Took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. Also, Lord and Miller involved in it.
Another successful film for the duo,
another successful film. Maybe Star Wars and Kathleen Kennedy should have thought about what they were doing when they sacked them towards the end of the shoot for Solo, A Star Wars Story. I digress, that's for another day, Stephen. Perhaps Friday, if we've got no other news to talk about. But look at that cast, Stephen. Chris Pratt back once again, I do believe. I'm sure he was in the original one. It's been a while since I've seen it. And just a who's who of brilliant actors and actresses in there. So I've not seen it as of yet, Stephen. I've not had a chance to go along and watch it. I've been too busy consuming myself into the How to Train Your Dragon franchise. But I'll most definitely be giving this one a watch at some point this week.
It's been 5 years since the original movie.
It's incredible.
I can't believe it. I thought it was only a couple of years, but it has been since 2014. But we'll move swiftly on to number 2 this week, John. In its first week, grossing 3.1 million. It's Alita, Battle Angel. Now, we don't know too much about this film other than we did receive a review into the blog earlier this week, and we will go into more depth about this film, John. But 3.1 million over the weekend's very impressive. 7.6 out of 10 on IMDb as well. It's going down very well with the critics. You
look who's involved in it, Stephen. Robert Rodriguez, also the man who was involved in Sin City, a whole host of other fantastic films. Incredible director. Also, I believe it is produced and written by James Cameron as well. So this guy just knows how to do big spectacle blockbuster films. We've seen it with the likes of Avatar, Titanic. The list is endless with that great man. So I'm sure it's going to have that epic scale, that epicness to it. And certainly looking at some of the trailers I've seen and photos, it looks stunning. It looks absolutely incredible.
I like the look of this, John.
Obviously, it's based on this cyborg, deactivated cyborg female, and it's got that uncanny valley thing, but they seem to have cracked it because it's coming across very well with the audiences. $130.8 million worldwide. It's not quite made its budget back yet, but it's just out, so it's going to make its budget back and some. And look, it looks absolutely epic. I can't wait to go along and give it a bash. Christoph Waltz is in there as well.
It's a great cast, John.
One of my favourite actors, Stephen. So I'll be sure to go and give it a bash. Mahershala Ali's in there again, man. Jennifer Connelly.
He's here, there and everywhere,
He's here, there and everywhere. I don't think he's going to pick up any awards for this one, sadly, because I think it's come out too late, Stephen. But look, he's not caring. He's been in just about every award-leading film that's been out there in the last 2 years or 3 years. But I digress. I've not got much more to add to that one, Stephen. No, I've not seen it yet.
We'll move on, John, but we will go into depth about the review coming from...
Absolutely.
Philip, was it?
I think it was Philip,
How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World is in at number 3 this week. It's 2.7 million over the weekend and 9.2 million overall for 2 weeks, John. It's hitting that £10 million mark already. Yeah, that's very, very impressive, Stephen. And look, I says last week I hadn't seen a single one of the How to Train Your Dragon films. I was quite ashamed by that when I looked at some of the feedback, critical responses films have been getting. By all accounts, it was a very much respected and much beloved franchise. I did go back and right that wrong, Stephen. I blitzed through it. I binge watched 1, 2, and I went to see Hidden Dragon a couple of days ago. And I have to say, Stephen, best way to do it, John.
Fantastic franchise as a whole. I just thoroughly enjoyed every single aspect of it, from the visuals, which are very unique. It's strange, you look at the visuals from some of the wide shots and they look quite plain at times, but then you go into the close-up shots, and you can see the detail and the clarity. I love the attention that's went into it.
Yeah.
The characters are just stunningly created. I love the whole myriad of different dragon species you've got in there. Some are just caricatures, some slightly more sinister looking. And it's got a great little sort of mythology that gets laid down in the first film. The second film, I did see on Twitter, still my favourite out of the three since I've watched them all. Just because I think that film was the best villain and had a great emotional sort of ending, a sucker punch ending. This one though, the one we're talking about, is a very much, I think this is the end of this. I think this is a trilogy. I've seen Jay Baruchel talking about it.
Yeah.
And he seemed, the way he was talking about it, it seemed like this was going to be the conclusion of the finale. And certainly watching it, it plays out that way at the end. You have an emotional reunion with Hiccup and Toothless. So it's looking like it is going to be the finale. And it's a fitting finale, Stephen. It's not quite as strong as the second film, but it's still a very enjoyable film. It's got a great, highly memorable little villain in there. And played by, I do believe, I can't recall who the hell it is that plays it at the moment, Stephen, off the top of my head. Fractured hand's going to my head. But we look through the cast again. Gerard Butler, he's appearing, without giving it away, Stephen, to you. I know you've not seen him.
I know.
Gerard Butler's playing his father. He appears in flashbacks.
Stoic.
Stoic, yeah. Brilliant big macho figure, but he's got a soft innards, he's got a big heart. Yeah. Jay Baruchel plays Hiccup. Absolutely iconic, this character for me now that I've seen it. I've thoroughly enjoyed his performance. He's a great guy as well, really enjoy him.
Yeah.
And obviously, Toothless doesn't really have an actor because he's toothless, he's a dragon, and he just communicates in a series of grunts. But Stephen, I digress, I'm getting sidetracked, I'm getting off. I'm sure we'll speak about this in some form or the other on the blog rundown in a more in-depth review.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be able to do it with my hand, but I'll certainly give it a bash if no one else takes forward, because it was fantastic. $172.5 million worldwide, $129 million budget. It's not out long, and it's thoroughly deserving of that grossing because it was an outstanding film with a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Number 4 this week, John, it's Green Book in its second week, grossing 1.1 million over the weekend. Overall 3.7 million. I am getting along to see this week.
Yeah.
I've heard good things about it from yourself, from your dad as well.
Yeah.
He went along to see it as well.
Yes.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. Love the cast as well. And
which is a first for him. This guy fell asleep in the front row of Jurassic Park back in the 1990s.
Legend has it, yep.
Yeah, I was a young boy. My first experience of going to the cinema, he fell asleep watching Jurassic Park. So it tells you how good this film is. Very captivating. Yeah. Stephen, you should go and watch it because it is an absolutely sublime film. It's my favourite film of 2019 so far. $126.3 million worldwide, incidentally, off of a $23 million budget. This is a fantastic film about the troubles of racial tensions that obviously were prevalent in the deep south of the United States back, I believe it was the 1960s or 50s, around about then anyway.
It's got that look, yeah.
It was, I think it was Don Shaw, is that right? I've not looked into the actual cast, I'm pretty sure it was Dr. Don Shirley, played by Mahershala Ali. Employs Tony Lip, played by Viggo Mortensen, to obviously chaperone him through the deep south. He's a talented classical pianist, and he's going around performing at all these very big sort of what the hell do you call those, plantation houses, Stephen, the big prominent landmark houses throughout the deep south. And it's these kind of a passive racist white people kidding on they're not racist. They've got an air of falseness, and it's just him learning off of Tony Lip, and Tony Lip learning off of him being educated by this very wise and intelligent man, and Don Shirley learning some cultural things and just how to be a little bit more chilled from Tony Lip. It was it was a powerful story about two real men, and it's just one of my favourite films so far.
It does, from what I've seen anyway, it does have a kind of a road trip feel to it.
Oh yeah.
And the Farrelly, I know this is just Peter Farrelly, but that seems to be their forte, you know, whether it's comedy or drama, you know, their characters are always on the road and travelling. I think that makes it interesting as well, but it's certainly a film I do want to see, John.
It's most definitely a road trip, Stephen. They go through the deep south to various different locations, and these guys bond throughout the course of it and become very close friends, so highly recommend it. Yeah,
certainly will be going along to see it. But we'll move on, John, to a film I did see a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
It's Glass, in its fourth week now, grossing £600,000 over the weekend, grossing overall £9.7 million. Yes. I've actually been thinking about this, whether or not I want to go back and see it again in the cinema. I think it's a film that's very layered anyway, but I've kind of changed my mind a little bit since last week, since it's I've taken board those sort of final events. I think I need to go and see it again, because I'm kind of swayed whether or not I was disappointed or just didn't expect what was going to happen. But I thoroughly enjoyed the film. I would say, I think I did say last week, 90% of the film was excellent anyway. So it's definitely a film that normally I would go back and see in the cinema anyway. You've got a cinema pass and you can use it. Why
exactly,
not?
Stephen.
But it was playing in my mind after we did the box office chat last week. From my comments, John, I was very disappointed with it. But I'm not really sure if I was disappointed now. I think perhaps my expectations took a little bit of a knock, but I think I did like the film.
We've seen this before, Stephen, with the likes of Star Wars, The Last Jedi. Sometimes perceptions and expectations going into a film can overpower the experience. Sometimes you just have to go in with a clear mind and say, look, this is the director, the producer, or the writer's creative decision. They perhaps know this world, they've had an idea for this world laid out for many years, and you just got to respect that. I thoroughly enjoyed the film for the overwhelming majority as well, Stephen. I have only seen it once, so I may have to go back and give it a bash as well. That may change my perception on that ending. Maybe I'll see something that I've never seen before. Maybe it'll strike a different chord with me getting in. Certainly Chris Stuckman, I did watch his review of the film.
Right, well, I've not seen
it once, done his non-spoiler review, says, I'll have to go back, I'm slightly disappointed, but I'll go back before I rush into rating it. He went back, done his spoiler review, and his estimations of the film went up quite a bit afterwards, so you get more enjoyment out of it. I'm a big M. Night Shyamalan fan. I think he's a fantastic director. It's a lot of shit, and it's totally unnecessary, not called for. I think he's a great guy. This is his creative decision, and as I did say, maybe I'll watch it again, Stephen, be it in the cinema or out in the house, and I may see something I've never seen before and get more enjoyment out of it. One thing's for sure, I ain't going to abandon my love for that guy Shyamalan, because I just think he's one of the great directors. I don't think so.
I think he's more hits than misses, John.
And he'll be back, and he's left it open-ended anyway, Stephen, so we may see more adventures in this universe. If it doesn't follow the likes of Elijah Price, David Dunn, or Kevin Wendell Crumb, still, I think we'll go back at some point.
I hope so, but we'll move on, John, to number 6 this week. It's Mary Queen of Scots, in its 4th week. It's grossed £500,000 over the weekend, grossing 7.8 million overall. It was a film that I was going to maybe casually go and see, but I think I'm going to go and see this over the next day or so. Based on your thoughts on the film, the cast, fantastic cast. I know that David Tennant plays John Knox in the film.
The great, some would say, Presbyterian leader of the Presbyterian Church, one of the founding fathers of that church. I don't think he's a great leader or a great man, Stephen, but I'm obviously biased. I don't like John Knox. Just because I thought he was a misogynistic git who obviously he kind of preached hatred.
From what you've told me and from what I've read, John, a lot of the male characters in this are very much the same, ilk. They're very much the same thought process towards the monarchy, its subjects, and how things should be ran in the country as well. There's a lot of backstabbing as well, isn't there?
No, listen, I'm not singling out John Knox, Stephen. All of the male figures, I did say that a couple of weeks ago, they're all misogynistic, hateful, sleek it, backstabbing gits. I can't recall who the brother is. If I'd seen his face, I'd be able to tell you, Stephen. But my brother is one of the primary backstabbers. He is an absolute vile guy. But at the end, he kind of makes his peace with her, although I don't think that's the case in historical context, because I do think he pretty much hated her. He was more for Protestantism, Presbyterian ways. Mary was also a prominent Catholic. She was brought up in Belgium, came back to Scotland, and the fact that was her faith, that did lead to her being mistrusted and subsequently being put under house arrest by Elizabeth down in England, and then killed on high treason charges. But I digress, I'm not giving a history lesson here, Stephen. $39.8 million worldwide for a film of this ilk, a historical drama, which is kind of shoehorned itself into a very specific point in history and a very specific locale in history. It's based in the United Kingdom. That's maybe not going to marry or go over well with audiences in international territories. No. That seems to be the case here. You look at domestic performance in the United States, $16.4 million. Although I'm havering a little bit there, Stephen, that's a good Scottish word, because it has made up 41% of its total grossing in the United States. So there's obviously a market there for this film. But look, I digress, I really enjoyed it. Saoirse Ronan, Margot Robbie, outstanding performances.
I was going to ask you, John, about Josie Rourke, the director. This is her first. This is her directorial debut. How did she perform in it? Was it excellent directed?
I thought it was very well directed, Stephen. She really did get great performances out of the aforementioned Saoirse Ronan and Margot Robbie, but not just her. Martin Compston, David Tennant. He was in and out of the film. He wasn't a mainstay by any means. He was flitting in and out of the film. You're seeing him kind of ranting to his massive people that were attending his church and stuff like that. But he was just outstanding in those short little glimpses we've seen of him. He was becoming more and more hysterical. saying things like there's a scourge in the land and it's a woman with a crown. I can't recall, there was another bit in between that, but she got fantastic performances. I thought it was very well crafted and it flowed pretty well. It was a linear story.
Yeah.
And she bought into these two female characters in a kind of a conflict. They didn't want to hate each other, they kind of wanted to have a relationship. Mary actually named Elizabeth, I think, godmother to her young son. Okay. So they weren't wanting war. They weren't wanting to war, if I can talk. Yeah. But the male figures were really stabbing them in the back. And I digress. She got good performances in the main. Well directed.
I think I'm going to see this week, John, because it does sound quite an interesting film.
It's very interesting.
Moving on to number 7 this week, it's Escape Room in its second week.
Yes.
Grossing £400,000 over the weekend. Overall 1.6 million now. It's funny that, because I don't know if it was just my memory, John, but I actually said to you before we came on air, did we talk about this last week? Because I couldn't even remember.
Yeah.
This is directed by Adam Robitel, and it stars the likes of Taylor Russell, Logan Miller, who we know, Jay Ellis, and the film is about 6 strangers find themselves in a maze of deadly mystery rooms and must use their wits to survive. And I do remember talking about it now, because I think I read that out last week as well.
Yeah.
It's certainly, I don't know, it's not a film, it's an action-adventure drama. I actually thought it was a horror, just based on the poster.
Well, it's funny you should say that, Stephen. I was looking down at the producers to see if it was perhaps Blumhouse, because I looked at the budget.
Sometimes you get that vibe off these type of films.
It was purely because it's got a $9 million budget and it's grossed $115.3 million worldwide, so it's made a gargantuan profit. Yeah. And you tend to see this with Blumhouse. They'll put out a pretty shitty film and then they'll put out a semi-decent film, but they've all got low budget productions and they tend to rake in the money regardless of the artistic or cinematic merit.
6.4 out of 10 on IMDb, according to the critics. It's a above average film as well. I would probably wait till maybe it's on a streaming service before I would go and see it. I don't think it's a film I'm going to rush out to see. I've already mentioned the ones I'm going to be going and seeing this week, so that's certainly not on my radar, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I share those sentiments, Stephen. I'm certainly in no rush to go out and see them either, but we shall move on, Stephen, to number 8, and it is Vice. It's dropped, I don't know how many places. It's dropped a few anyway. Yeah. It was at number 3 last week, so it's dropped 5 spots this week. It's grossed £330,000 at the weekend, down 43.9% on last weekend's showing. It's down 161 theatres as well, just 318 now, and it's grossed £3.2 million at the UK box office. That's a semi-decent performance. It's not great. I'm not going to try and polish up a third, but for a film of this nature, Stephen, I was talking about Mary Queen of Scots perhaps not going over well with international territories. Dick Cheney, George W. Bush, Donald Rumsfeld, these are people that are not get a high amount of popularity over here, so people may just not want to be going and watching it.
No, I think over here we do know enough about US politics just through the media and stuff like that, social media. But you're right, I think over here we don't have a big interest. We've got our own problems, by the way, with Brexit, etc. But this film, I did go and see, John. I wouldn't say it was a turd. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The only thing I do really have any criticism over is Adam McKay's direction and tone. Something that you actually said last week, and I picked up on it when I watched the film, was that is it going satirical or is it going drama based? At times I wasn't sure myself.
Yeah, it was a kind of a strange film, Stephen. It was kind of in a way glorifying this Dick Cheney guy in certain parts, and then in other parts it was like a satirical. There was a satirical message getting preached, also about the notion of power, Stephen. You do anything you get power. This guy, he came from quite a lowly position, rose up. He was essentially a guy who could have became president, but he wasn't popular enough. There was a point in the film where he's saying we want to put yourself forward for presidency, but they say, look, your opinion polls, your popularity polls are just not there. So you then had to become a second man to perhaps a lesser politician, akin to George W. Bush Jr., who was certainly not as great a man as perhaps Dick Cheney in terms of ruthlessness and just sheer political willpower and stuff like that, but he had to take second fiddle to him because he wasn't popular enough. So it dived into that, but it was tonally a little bit strange. It was, I think it won for Best Edit in the BAFTAs. And I have to say, that's probably deserving, because this film, if it wasn't edited together correctly, could have been an absolute disaster. It could have been a mismatch of strange sort of sequences and shots, because it's flip-flopping back between the past and the current day, current day being the early 2000s, and it's doing a whole sort of strange things with perspectives and plots and stuff like that, the way he met these people. But I enjoyed it, Stephen. When I was talking about Turd, I was talking about its performance at the box office, not its cinematic merit. I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was a good film. The three leading male acting performances from Steve Carell, Sam Rockwell, and obviously first and foremost Christian Bale, they really propelled this film to a higher standard than perhaps it would have done without them. But $55.4 million worldwide, it's not too bad.
No,
it's
not too bad at all, John. But we'll move on to number 9 this week, and its 8th week, grossing £300,000 over the weekend. Massive 42.6 million. It's Mary Poppins Returns.
Mary Poppins, yeah. Yeah, Stephen, I've seen this film a number of weeks ago now. I think it was maybe 2 weeks in, 3 weeks in.
Yeah.
I went to see this one. It was okay, it was a pretty decent film. Nowhere near the original in terms of, I mean, that was an absolute classic. It was never ever going to match that film. But I enjoyed it for the most part. It was a good, solid musical. It had that distinct sort of a magical period vibe that the original had. I thought Emily Blunt was pretty outstanding as Mary Poppins. She'd done it all she could really to try and elevate this film.
I don't think anybody else could have done it better.
Absolutely not, Stephen. You can't do
maybe Julie Andrews.
Julie Andrews, yeah, but can she move like she used to, Stephen? I don't know. But look, 274,000, as you did say, this weekend, £42.6 million. That is very, very good. Yeah. And it's just, again, echoing the previous efforts we've seen in terms of musical films in the United Kingdom. They seem to go over well. $1.5 million worldwide, Stephen. $130 million budget. Massive profit. Yeah. So Disney have been vindicated for releasing this in December. Yep, they did the right thing as far as I'm concerned. But we'll move on to the final movie this week. But not for Star Wars. Definitely not. I'm my boogie. But we'll move on, John, to number 10 this week. It's All Is True. Yes. It's in its first week. This is grossed £300,000. By all accounts, it's been a very average affair for this movie, starring the likes of Kenneth Branagh, who also directs this film, and it's also got the likes of, I think it's got, who was it? It was Judi Dench, and Ian McKellen's in there, and it was actually written by Ben Elton. Ben Elton? You know that? I didn't know that, Stephen. I'm not going to go and watch this film, Stephen. No. Despite being a person that kind of likes William Shakespeare's works, I say kind of. I've not seen them, I've read them all, but he's obviously one of the greatest. It's his final days, yeah. He's one of the greatest literary minds of the United Kingdom's history, certainly, Stephen, if not the world. He essentially created some of the words that we see in prominent use in the English language today. He was a guy who created a hell of a lot of them, so he was an absolute genius, and he's obviously befitting of a biopic about his life, certainly his final days of his life. But it's not getting great ratings, Stephen. It's not, well, certainly not on IMDb. Look at the critics' response on Rotten Tomatoes. 76% from all critics rated fresh. Top critics just 50 rated rotten, but it's only 4 ratings. Yeah. By all accounts, a fairly average experience. It's not got any worldwide and box office numbers because I don't think it's been released outside of the British Isles, Stephen. And that's because, much like I says with Mary, Queen of Scots, and perhaps Vice flip-flopping from the United States to over here. Yeah. It's a subject matter which will not transfer well to different territories. So I doubt it very much, John. I doubt it will be in the top 10 next week. No chance, Stephen, but I digress. That's going to round up this episode of Box Office Chat, where we break down all of the best performing films within the United Kingdom's top 10 of the box office. We'd just like to thank you for listening, and or watching, I should say. I'm tripping out my nut, this hand's really getting to me, Stephen. And if you're enjoying the content we're putting out, do like the video, comment below and subscribe to the channel. And we'll be back tomorrow with Movie Burner News.